Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one, Moon Touched demo. So, before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $5 a month. And if you have any other games you want to suggest, or want me to do a let's play of, then tell me and I'll put it to the quick look or give it a point, which put up higher on the list. So, back to this game. The synopsis is, where is it? There. The VN will follow the experience of a human protagonist as they prepare body, heart, and mind for a deeply erotic and spiritual ritual that will see them transforming into a werewolf. A great and sacred honor in the world they are a part of. So is it like our universe, or is it like, I don't know, maybe Celtic-ish? I mean, there's runes and stuff, so... The story will feature 5 possible ritual/love interests, each with their own stories and relationships to explore. There will not be a set routes in the traditional sense. Rather, the player will choose among the lot who they will spend time with during the day as the story unfolds. Certain actions, as well as how often an individual character is chosen, will affect your affinity with that character, progressing their story and deepening your bond. There is no set outcome for these lads. Their hearts can be broken, they might fall in love, or they can simply fulfill their duty in assisting the character in the final ritual. It is up to you. Okay, so with all that, let's reset our face and start. It's intended for mature audiences. Please be 18 years or older. We'll get into the demo. Certain keywords will highlight a dialogue, deepen your understanding of the lore. Cool. Oops, click over here. This slice of the game is roughly the first third of the first chapter of the tale. There's no follow the experience of human... Yeah. I was like, deeply erotic. Scars of the past lie in lands, and in the hearts of men and wolves. Truths lie buried. Ancient forces begin to stir. Do you have the strength to push beyond what you think is possible? To give yourself a longing beyond your ken? Ken? Or kin? I don't know. I hope you enjoy your time with it. Click to begin. Well, I want to be puppy. In the deepest chambers of every heart, there lies a void. An endless well of black that yearns in tides of great hunger. Come, oh, have you to key? When brought to the eroding edge, deep within the soul, most cower in awe at its expanse, brought to their knees by the pining and left to flee back to the surface where hunger is but a whisper. Mama, where Dad? I can't see him anymore. Some finds contentment in feeding this void of longing with what they can find. With the sweetness of love, the passion of lust, with blood, with power. Yet, still it finds us. Still, it pulls on us, so close, so primal. Don't you look back. Keep your eyes on me. I'm maybe, cutting a bit short, but Perhaps it's our avoidance of this void. To deny it is the one thing it seeks to consume. The hunger that is only sated when we turn to face it, naked in its blackness. Mama, please, get up. Mom, we have to keep... Longing is a song of death, not to be fulfilled, not to be ignored. It is to be bowed down before and buried within its embrace. Mama, please, get up. Humbly breathing its light. I wonder. Sad puppy. Do gods feel it too? Oh. My voice quivers in streams made visible by the cold morning air. A dream. As I watch my words drift through the little light, what little light pierces my tent, my hand glides up the warmth of my side, fingers rippling over the landscape of muscle and subtle bones until I find it. A scar, as cold as the air on my parted lips, rests upon my ribs and pulls at the warmth of my palm. Before I sleep deeper into contemplation, I hear a gruff voice below, beyond the thin skin of my tent, a familiar voice calling my name. It's Soren. Soren. Oh, kind of like the guy from, Sugar Lane. The sun. Soren. Hey, Soren. It's time to get out. You've overslept. A gray paw pushes through the leather flap, delivering a torn piece of bread, now being held inches away from my face. A chuckle breaks the lingering haze of my dream as I take the bread from his loose grip, slightly warm from its time spent in his palm. Breadless, the paw begins to retreat into the warmth of the day before I speak up. What, not gonna help me up? A reluctant paw halts and flops open. I grasp it firmly, knowing I'm about to be... Fuck, it's cold out here. I know, it seems like a lovely day in England. The young sun does little to soften the blow of the cold morning air hitting my skin. The hair on my limbs and chest rise in response as I reach for my clothes. He flaps his gums. Your fault for sleeping naked. Here, bread down, and pack your things. That should warm you up. And savor that. Savor it. That might be your last meal for a while. What? No, but I love food. The sight of Anoam banishes the last lingering emotions of that dream etched into my mind. We're set to converge with the Silver Bots party on the southern pass today. Many moons ago, the people of Wood grew their society into three distinct branches. The sister brats, emerald, silver, and white. Silver brats shine bright through this skilled moon touch, who scour the realm. Fuck, I swear I can read. Over the hopes of unearthing the long forgotten truths. Also, I love it when they change the cursor to, something. It's been, what, 5 years since we've seen our sister tribe? 6. Since the River Festival. Right. Gods, the River Festival. I can hardly remember that night. So much booze. The river wasn't, river. It was alcohol. I certainly can. I glare at him through a smile, and his tail slightly tucks, a sign his memory returned to him. Had to drag your drunken ass home. You couldn't even make it to your mat before you brought us both to the floor. I mean, he is probably, 300 pounds? Definitely 200-ish. 250? That was fun, I think. You weren't exactly sound and sober yourself there, pup. I woke up to you curled up next to me. Took a few baths to get all that drool out. Yeah. Well, you made for good enough betting. Speaking of, I think we'll get set up camp before the moon rises. Should take us the better part of a day to get to the pass at our pace. From there, we descend into the Catharos, a great crater nestled in the heart of the realm, a chalice holding ancient memories of times lost, where great spirits walk the earth. Now men and wolves alike travel onto the sacred rend at the call of the moon to receive and bestow in reverent duty. Should make it just in time for their opening ceremonies. You might have to set up in the dark, but knowing you, you'll be awake for a while. I happily chew on the bread, the smoke from the now doused fire at the heart of our little encampment fluttering between us. It came to me in my dream again last night, before you woke me. Did he now? Those only get stronger as you go close to their end. Still, an auspicious blessing. Yeah, great crater. His large paw begins to place the collection of tools and provisions back into his worn leather pack. Flakes of bread, crusts fall from the knife as he sheathes it before slipping it alongside what I presume to be the rest of the loaf wrapped in old linen. And what did he show you? That night. His paws hesitate for a moment, midway through the emotions before stirring again, his calm eyes unchanged. It was almost a memory, the black trees piercing the snow, the fading warmth of her arms. It's already slipping away. The emotion was sharp, though. Then, from the blackness, he emerged. The trees began to twist and veil like smoke. I felt warm. Perhaps it was a memory after all. I let his words hang for a moment. His voice sounds heavy and reflective. Do you remember a wolf approaching that night? Yet, the last time I checked, you're not a deity. Unless you're the weeping wolf incarnate, and you've been a better liar than I thought. Well, we did see a weeping wolf. Great bestial spirit of the forest, who spurned his maker, cast land and ice in the final attempt to save mankind long ago, in the waning days of the rending war, banished to the chill of the moon for his transgressions, he forged each other betwixt beast and man, giving form and divine covenants unto those secret moon touched, that he might walk the earth once more through their eyes. And break away from his smirk to eye his tail gently gliding across the ground, wet leaves and mouse-tail twigs clinging to it briefly. Alas, I am not he, and you're lucky for it. One might wonder if divinity itself would be enough to humble the likes of you. Hey now, I'm only disrespectful towards you. I'm touched. We share a light laugh in the raising moonlight. Or sunlight. Fuck, I can't read, right? Words ring me. Yes, man of the forest. Oh. Okay. Saved you that night, not I. He led me to you and your mother. When I found you, you were all but ice. He glances up, piercing white eyes, meeting mine before they fall upon my scar. The mark he left is as much a blessing to your soul as it is a curse unto your life. For you to awaken as a moon called, it is similarly my greatest source of pride, and perhaps my deepest well of fear for you. Young human men who, upon hearing the call of the weeping wolf, the souls undertake the pilgrimage to the sacred lands of some place to surrender their humanity to their lunar maker. And Noam, you know as well as I that the call pulls on me. I can do this. My body feels strong enough. If Odreme did save me that night, then he guides me yet again unto Catharos to meet those called and changed before me to become moon-touched in turn, just as you did. I know, Soren, I've known this day would come, though I never realized how quickly it would arrive. He clears his throat gently and rises with his pack and paw, slinging it over his shoulder and adjusting its position to better fit across his broad back. I see the fire in you is strong. That's good. You'll need it for what's to come. But for now, you're still a pup, and one that's holding on your journey at port. Pack your things. wonder how old the main character is supposed to be. Like 20s? Could be 30s. I smile and offer him a grateful nod before turning back towards my tent, the leather flap now warm in my hands. Soren? When I turn back around to face him, his eyes have a whisper of sadness in them. Did he speak to you? No, he didn't. Just fixed his eyes on mine as a dream began to tear around us. First thing I heard was you calling my name. Anoam gives a silent nod before returning to his preparations. It takes a few moments for me to collect my things together. We packed as light as possible for what has already been nearly 2 weeks on the road. I force my now rolled tent into my pack, alongside my cherished deerskin mat, before pushing my hand deep into the pouch on the side, fingertips searching for an old friend. There you are. Warmth seeps into my fingers as I pull out the familiar stone from its nightly resting place. Its smothered black surface glints slyly in the light. I bring it to the rest against my scar, the warmth spreading across my ribs, and the ambient pain I've learned to live with, quelling in its gentle glow. I'm surprised that still soothes you. Most of its quality would have long since lost its magics. I wrap the thin linen bandage around my torso, making sure to secure the stone in place at the heart of my scar. Well, I suppose I'm truly blessed then. It has begun to fade, but she still keeps me warm enough. Still grateful for it. Anoam smiles warmly, probably feeling proud of the gift he gave me many moons ago, as I pat at my side happily. Maybe we'll find another in Canthros for you. Come then. We have a long day ahead of us. Anoam takes care to spread what's left of the wet ash and fading embers before unceremoniously turning to leave. Well, you could also pee on it. I mean, I have to do that every morning. I can't help but steal one last lingering look at the small campsite that houses for a night before shifting my gaze out towards the wide wilderness lying naked before me. My heart quivers slightly. We're nearly there. Day 0. Kinda. As tired as my feet have become on a long road Anoam and I have taken, I can't help but feel they are strengthened anew today. Are we going here? To what looks like the final boss area? You know, the big swirling maelstrom of stuff? Tonight will mark the beginning of the moonfall ceremonies, and the beginning of the end of my simple humanity. Yes, I am simple. Anoam talks to the wind, and talks to the wind and I, as we walk along the canyon edges, down over the dry riverbeds, and through old groves. Fuck, I feel like my ability of reading has been tanking recently for some weird reason. And it took me a minute to understand ways like talking to the wind and I. Good. And what of Isiris? A small blue flower found along the creeks that weave through the forests of Cantharos, not found outside the sacred rend. Its use? He's filled with 2 weeks of near constant flow of trials and tests that echo the training I've undergone the past 5 moons. Isiris is a blessed flower to the Tien clans of the eastern coasts. The druids utilize it to alleviate pain induced by ritual bonding with the moon-touched. So we're gonna woo to become a werewolf? Good. That is the most relevant use. There was other more practical reaches as well. And what of themic vines? By now, I've learned the art of absent-mindedly answering him to satisfaction, and allowed my mind to glide over the foreign landscapes stretching out around us. Themic vines are also endemic to the Rend, normally poisonous until boiled with a blend of other magical herbs, it produces ultra dreamlike states of consciousness and usually profound spiritual nature. My eyes flutter along the trail as I draw out the answer. The landscape of autumn wildflowers and fallen trees hugs the animal run. Animal run we follow? Oh, I guess where animals, tend to walk. Such a bounty our road holds. These lands I've longed to walk, but never dared to dream that I would. I'd find myself amidst the almost overwhelming union of bliss and wonder, along with subtle sadness. I'm bound to the trail behind the towering wolf, as he leads us through the unknown worlds. Yet, in my heart, I yearn to spend days and weeks in some of these places, drinking deep of their novelty and untapped prosperity. The bows are all I've known since no one brought me to them in the thaw and wake of that old cold night. A cage of trunks and cacophonies, beautiful and confining. Confining? A fragment of my dream this morning glints through my mind, only to be replaced by a gentle gratitude. I am much more than my life to Audrey the weeping wolf. By his call, I am walking this unknown soil, the doors to my cage flung open far behind me. Several hours of silence pass as we walk became more tedious and challenging to navigate. As the path we walk. Okay. I look up to see Anoam turn back towards me, with his pack resting against a fallen tree. He waves to me before unfastening his cloak and laying it upon the back of the trunk. By the time I reach him, the wolf is sitting comfortably in the shade, patting his empty water skin. Finally caught up. The last mile was a bit rough. So says the man with trunks for legs and hardened paw pads. Pat pat. You'd walk without shoes? I mean, I guess, maybe. I guess these are more werewolves. It's always kind of weird to me when you see, like, anthropomorphic animals that aren't werewolves and they don't wear shoes. It's like, but what if you step on a stone? That heckin' hurts. And I tend to walk without shoes. At least at the front of the house. I draw in a breath and look around us for the first time in a while, realizing just how different this land is sculpted from where we began the day. The forest is beautiful. It's as if the land fights against the weight of the trees, piercing the ground for sunlight. I hop onto the rock with a confident stride. Poetic. It said these lands bore the weight of thunderous battle in the waning days of the great spirits. The scars of that time radiate from the brim of the Cantharos. Yeah. Jetted rocks and crumbling ruins scattered across the forest floor seem to soak up this newfound insight right before me. We thread along the earth's ancient scars, pausing for a moment in appreciation. I sling my pack down to my feet and move to sit beside the wolf. Waggy tail! Before I can, the large tail snakes around from behind him and occupies what's left of the broken trunk. Oh, here, pup. A gnome extends a paw towards me, pointed at my empty water skin, the wooden cap hanging by the edged milkweed cord. A stream flows nearby, and now is a good time to rest. I feel growing cold, and I'm in the mood for some tea. Ooh, tea! I'm surprised by your senses are keen as they are for a wolf your age, brother. I can't hear the stream myself, but he has big pointy ears. Perhaps when you stop panting, you hear the flow of the water. It's down the valleys here, or there. I can go for us. You can rest your weary paws, old man. Another attempt to get at least some kind of rise out of him. Puppy. And here, I'd been nice and by calling your aging ass pup. Are you sure you're up for it? I figured you could start the fire while I fetch the water. I'm not quite ready to rest yet. We both know you're better at starting flames anyways. I pushed my pack away with my foot and approached the wolf, scanning his gear for another skin he carries. For the other. Alright, if you feel you're up for it. I am. I thought of the thought of cold water on my feet is all the convincing I need. Just be careful out there. Whistle if you need me. I give him a mildly disheartened look. He still doesn't fully trust me. Better to err on the side of caution is what I'm saying. The stream isn't far. He nods his head back to the thick woods. I take the skin from his rough paw before kneeling to gather my own, then shift over Anoam's pack to untie the third empty skin from his side. Understood. Perhaps I'll stop panting just long enough to hear it. We share a playful smile before I head out. Before long, I hear the soft murmur of the stream beyond my sight, weaving through the crags and trees. Even now, I'm humbled by Anoam's sharp senses. Never has the magic faded from the moments where he reads my body. Maybe I should just quit, to know when the chill of my scar begins to take hold. I wonder, will a new world open before me in the wake of the ritual, like waking from a hazed dream? What will this forest look like through the eyes of a track? My eyes fixate on the sharp imprints dotting the earth that the fallen leaves left bare. I don't bother searching for the subtle deteriorations that time leaves on the track more than a day or two old. They are fresh. My fingers push into the sides of the track lightly. Moisture draws out of the walls as I prod. Very fresh. A few hours at most. I scan outwards from the first set as I lower the water skins down onto the forest floor. There. 4 digits. The end two slightly faded away from the center. A deer fox, perhaps? A female, if I'm right. The tracks dance along, displaying an alert yet confident stride of a fox that knows these woods well, heading down to the stream for a quick drink. I get down low and fall along the indentations and displace debris, careful to not get ahead and disrupt them. And Drump pause, and a timid step backwards. Something took her notice. A threat. Here, a set slightly deeper than the others. Images of her crouching down low, her weight given time to sink down into the soft floor, dance across my mind's eye. She takes a few cautious steps forward, heading for the safety of rock formation, piercing through the thin trees. I'm practically crawling now, steeping through the woods with my hand on my hands and feet, mimicking her steps with my own, my heart pounding as if it were I who's being hunted. A deep track tearing through the mud and moss as she makes a drastic pivot, a broken twig, a trampled friend. She's almost to the rocks, and then I stare at the last set, submerged and dragged across the soil, flailing violently. It's not until I look up in search of the predator's tracks that normal silence of the forest dawns on me, save the pounding of my heart, drumming inside the walls of my head. No bird song, though I see them mocking me from above. No whisper of the wind, though I see the branches playing. The wood around me shatter in a flash that rips through my body. I stumble to the floor, leaving my own marks on skin. Worry floods my dimming heart, and my eyes begin to close. The hair is so thin. Huh? For the briefest moments, a relief washes over me, think the fox somehow escaped their fate. Until I noticed the side of the forest through the ethereal form, shifting like a reflection of water. What is this? My voice echoes and flows outside the boundaries of my body, as if they were always just a suggestion. An attempt to lift myself from the ground is met with what remains of a sense of my body falling away. The air vibrates with a low hum that's building, a distinct thunder approaching at its sprint. Who? The figure, comprised of veils of light, delicately enfolds its shimmering arms around the fluctuating body of the fox. She feels at once familiar and as alien as the darkest stars in the distant night sky. Mother. I come to as the vision fades abruptly. The scent of pine and wet earth seeps into focus as I open my eyes. What the fuck was that? I pant for breath, clutching my side, my scar sending waves of lessening pain through my bones. Sharp moments like these have struck me before, but never like this. Rolling over on my back, I stare up at the canopy, dancing unperturbed in the breeze. I've never seen anything during an attack. Scan the floor, yields no trace of the fox where it stood before me. No tracks of a woman clad in flowing light. What nature of omen is that? The beauty of the visions clash against the unsettling feeling growing in my heart. Was that? Memories of her fled back to me. The feel of her skin, the flow of her skirt, and the wind as it chased her, the fading melody of her voice eroding to the waves of time. It couldn't have been her. She's long at rest. Worry starts to send my mind as I try to make sense of what I just saw. Lived? Damn it. Why now? A memory flickers. Soren, I'm just concerned for you. Calm down. And no one blankets my shoulder with a paw and looks into my eyes as I let out a tired sigh. I know him. We can't afford to sit in the bronze and wait for the day that may not yet come. Also, can I just put up the music a bit louder? Or something? Because I've noticed that it's like very quiet. Boop, boop, boop. What if I never improve? Who's they say that I will? I am moon called. I'll be ready. I must be. I know may house me, calling me to the rend, calling me to give myself, just as he once called you. I know him stand silently for a moment before I'm pulled into an embrace, my face nestling into the thick fur of his chest. Soren, being moon called is one thing, fulfilling that calling is another. The ritual is as much a physical trial as is a spiritual. Even a healthy man's body would be pushed to its limits. You have to understand where I'm coming from here. His heart beats through the thick muscle of his chest, slow and rhythmic. He's not awash of his emotions, as I am in mine. And I respect that, as I do you, always. But I've been stable these past several months of training, and what happened today wasn't anywhere near what they used to be. I know him. I can't continue to wait. The seasons that pass are losing their colors in my heart. I feel like the roots of the bras are closing in around me, and the air is growing still. I feel trapped. I'd rather follow this calling until my body gives way than spend what's left of my soul waiting here. His broad jaw comes to rest on the crown of my head as his embrace tightens with a deep breath pushing at me through muscle and fur. I hear you, Soren. I will never be a force in your life that binds you. I promise that. Yet Still, I worry. Will you allow me to come with you? I open my stinging eyes. Noam, you would return to the Cathros for me? I had thought. A deep chuckle rumbles through a series of pats on my back. On my back? Keep me from finishing what he knew I would say. Life is a flowing river, brave pup, and it tends and it bends to the rhythm of change. I would be wise to follow it. I encircle my arms around his bulk, as though his hold was there in the fleeting warmth of that moment. Thank you. Damn it. No, I have this. A hollow assertion in the midst of doubt, but it's just enough to get me back to my feet. The skins are where I left them, and 15 paces back. Sorry, I just maybe need to take a moment to just... It's been a bit of a rough day. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's not a rough day, it's just like everything's been tiring. Oh. So spare... Skins where I left him. I mean, he has stuff for his souls, which is always, like, probably one of the harder parts. Always hate it when, like, you step on something and, like, it's... The pressure's right in the middle. Oh. Ted. The pain largely quelled, and no sign of the fox. I gather the replenished water skins and begin to trace my steps back. It's not long before a familiar whistle cascades down through the valley and past me as I make my way up to the hillside. A gentle birdsong that has been humming through the trees halts for a brief moment as if the birds were offended by the dissonance of its choir. You know, I kind of wonder how that works. Like, I know people make animal sounds to signal and without giving themselves away, but like, how would you do that? Do you just hope that there's no familiar animal sounds nearby? Like, if you're doing an owl, you hope there's no owls nearby, or do you do something where that an animal could be nearby that would do that, but isn't? You know, places where an owl that makes that sound doesn't live. Stopping on a rock, perched high, I bring my clasped hands to my lips, the chill of the stream still clinging to them. Summiting the rest of the hill, I see a Noam on the bluff ahead. Though not in a way I was expecting to find him. An abandoned pile of birch, kindling, and twigs lay at his feet, his warm cloak tied to his body by the sling of his pack. There you are. I was just about to follow your scent. The stream wasn't that far. What took you so long? Impatient for the tea, are we? It's only been a handful of minutes. Try 30 or so. You had me worried. That vision lasted but a mere moment to me. Could have been that long? And Gnome looks down at me expectantly. What took you so long? Tell him the truth. I move in towards my pack. Now, Now resting at the ready against the fallen tree, crouching to secure the water skin to its side, I take a slow breath. He deserves to know. I had another attack. I clutch at my side as I look up at the wolf. His ears flick towards the canopy above, and his eyes widen as he moves steadily, lowering his pack and kneeling beside me. I'm alright, really. It just happened suddenly. One moment I was following a fresh fox track, and the next, I guess I must have lost consciousness for a while there. I feel his warm palms move my hands away and press themselves to my skin. The rough pads between the rivers of soft fur, delivering their heat. Worry fills his eyes. I knew I should have gone with you. You're very cold. Here. Here's a belle. He leans back to unfasten his cloak before wrapping it around me. Is this the thumbnail here? Its strong, unfamiliar musk carries a warmth into my lungs as the cloak settles on my shoulders. Ooh, I need to switch it the other way. And no, please, I'm truly alright. It was a fleeting moment of pain, or at least that's how it felt to me. I can't tell him everything. The omen I saw, it would only frighten him more than he already is. Laying my hand on the outside of his knee, draws his eyes from where they're fixated up on my scar up next to mine. It hasn't lingered. It felt fine. Save the coddling for when I really hurt myself. And know it's a small smile, just strong enough to hold back his true concern. Please don't. A warm paw and a cloak won't be able to cover much more than this. I'm glad you're alright, though. Thank you for telling me, for your trust. I know my worry burdens you. Of course. Thank you. Your bond with the gnome grows stronger. Thank you for holding yourself at bay this time, and for the warmth. I tug at the cloak, and a gnome exhales. His large shoulders loosen and relax. A few tail wags, and a lick to unwet his nose tells me that he is mostly at ease again. Also, why would you wet your nose? Aren't dogs' noses usually wet, unless they're sick? And wolves. I don't know. I've only met one wolf before, but I was only petting its very soft ears, not, checking its nose for how wet it was. It was cute. What was it called? Tickle time? It was at a wolf sanctuary, and one of them was very much acclimated to humans, because how it came, its background. Would that I made a fire so that we could warm ourselves up properly, but something happened. Come and see. He turns tail and walks out towards the open sky. I follow and come to stand at the lip of cliffside. See that there? That's the barrier. Oh, you mean this thing right up here? He extends a paw and points towards the large dome, comprised of the fragile light, fighting against the sun-soaked sky. By the moon. There it is. I didn't realize we're this close. Aye, we've come a long way. Now look there. A tail of smoke signal rises from what looks like to be a shoulder of the Canthos halo. A slight tinge of green tints the base of the rising column. As a kid, from the 90s, you'd always hear about smoke signals that Native Americans would do. I would wonder how that works. Because usually in cartoons it's, here's a puff of smoke, here's a puff of smoke, here's a puff of smoke. And it's like Morse code, but I would have no idea how that would work. Though I guess it would have to be something pretty simple, Because you can't really control smoke or the wind. Except, I don't know. The Silver Brock's party? What are they doing this far west on the Halo? Well spotted. And that's the question I've been pondering since it started to rise. They're meant to wait out at the entrance of the southern pass until we arrived. Regardless, next signal is for us. Are you well enough to travel out? We squint at the rising smoke as the gnome places a paw on my shoulders. Yes, absolutely. Let's not keep them waiting. We'll also get right your back. The main character looks kind of big and strong, but, the that person's a werewolf. It would be like me carrying... Well, I'm not particularly large myself. I'm strong, like hella strong, but I'm not large. So, maybe an early teenager, I guess? Like somebody that's, midway through growing-ish. Or something that's not particularly big. No, granted, werewolf was... Anyways, I secured my gear and quickly tied the spare water skin onto a gnome's pack. My mind lingers on the vision that I experienced amidst the pain, the fox, the woman. A touch of guilt joins me as I watch a gnome secure his pack and gesture at me towards the trail. Some truths are better held, at least for now. We make towards the faint signal at a strong pace. The absence of chatter from a gnome tells me that he's lost in his own thoughts. What would make the Silver Broads party deviate away from the rendezvous location? Okay, can we use Google Translate to, do the thing? I don't know why whenever I put it into, Firefox, it's
Bots.
bots?
Bots.
Okay. Oh, there's no T.
Bows.
Bows? Okay. Deviate away from the rendezvous location. A gnome walks briskly behind me, his fluctuating proximity setting its pace for us. I'm not sure. They have warriors among them, so it's doubtful the beast could sway the whole party off course. Don't wonder what beast are we talking about, because, a bear might be, strong enough against a werewolf, but, a party of werewolves? Kind of, this is magical universe. There's a big barrier right here, so... We both give way to silence, letting our imaginations settle on a similar possibility. Do you know these lands? No, I don't. This is my first journey into the southern reaches of the mainland, though it's known for its placid safety when held next to the north and the west of the Rent. The southern pass is well established and maintained. And what of the east? Our homelands? The eastern shores share the safety of the south, though not for the absence of danger. Rather, the land itself keeps the clans there fortified and secure. That's right. The great roots at the Tien call home, I wonder if I'll forget to see them. Those are men who listen and call. The tides form to dwell on the eastern shores of the realm, where the drumming song waves upon rock. For present, the great medicine men and wolves among them, known as druids, are celebrated for their profound spiritual wisdom and guidance. It may be you find yourself pairing with the tidal wolf. I could see your temperaments align well. Someone to calm me down, or claim me down, ooh. Look back at the wolf, who's happily smirking. If they're anything like you, then they're more likely to provoke me. The levity of my tone protecting him from the full meaning of those words. Ah, but I'm a man of the sea no longer. Kneel before the lunar coat and tremble beneath the depth of my wisdom. Exactly like that. Should a proposed mate come at me with such a blatant disrespect for the truth, you and I might find ourselves making the long journey back home sooner than we thought. Well, at one point I'm like, is this going to be one of those weird things like Shelter where it's like, but there are no female dwarves, which just spring out of the ground. I think there are females in that universe, but yeah, maybe it's that it's like, yeah, the only way you become a werewolf is to get a suppository. Let's put it that way. A huff of a laugh comes the wolf. And what What of lunar wolves? Can they see the moon called? A loud cough reverberates from behind me. No, lunar wolves do not participate. They act to facilitate the ceremonies and offer spiritual guidance. The first moon touch wolf awakened frozen lands the coat of white as the full moon of the cold winter sky, exceptionally rare. The few lunar wolves that take breath today reside solely within some place, save for one. Lunar wolves sit highest among the five wolf clans and are responsible for divining the will of Orgermay, as well as facilitating the sacred rituals performed to honor him. Alright, but say a moon called and a lunar wolf felt a strong bond, strong enough for reclaiming? No, that is forbidden, moon called. You sound sad. Oop. The vagueness of what I known of Anoam's life before he rescued me feels wide at this moment. Something happened to him back at the rent. Something he's not keen on giving words. It will not force us to stay here for his sake. Anoam, why did you choose the white bows? Of all places for us to live, why not return to your birthplace on the eastern shores? And what's that again? Maternal force? The White Brows clans comprise solely of humans. Our lives have been saturated with the calm life of the Bows, and while you now yearn for experiences beyond it, it serves us well, and has offered us a peaceful life. That's why I choose the White Bows. I knew it would be soft for you, and for myself as well. I knew I would need help raising you, and people there embraced us both if we were born under those cacophonies. In any case, you were in no condition to make the journey much farther than the White Bows, even if a better place had come to mind. My creed, the three sister bows, silver, white, and emerald, offer purity and isolation, inasmuch as they are islands in truth. So too do they serve as safe havens amongst the senseless flow of the world and its ever-shifting traditions and interpretations. It is why I chose there to shelter you for us. You would have chosen otherwise? Wait, would you have chosen otherwise? I hear you. My memories of growing up in those groves are warm, filled with laughter and summer heat. I remember the magic of the harvests, and you having to clean scrapes on my knees almost nightly. Childhood in the White Bows was a daydream, really. For that, I am grateful to the northern shores and back, or to the northern shores. And now I am a man. I have grown to doubt this secrecy and isolation of our people. Now that I am moon-called, I am forced to walk towards my fate, without knowing what lies in the history of these lands and its people. You've taught me more than any other Bow Race moon-called has likely known before the rituals, but still, why conceal a whole people away from the unfoldings of the world? Who benefits from such ignorance? A gnome thinks for a moment before his deep voice rings out. Bestowed upon the first moon called wolves embody a new elemental aspect. Fueled by their connection to their aspect, these individuals receive the divine mandate. Humans and wolves are sons. Haritor Aberon chose what he thought was best for himself and those, and those called the Way of Wood when they created the bows, and for the other hericators have done for their people prior to the falling of Aberon. As to why, have patience, Soren. A world beyond what you can imagine is about to unfold before you. Make sure to not cling too tightly to what you think you know. That was Aberon's wish for you, to offer that innocence in the face of truth. There have been times when I've questioned if locking you into the abstinence of the barrows was truly for the best, but then I look upon you and see the man they've become. Then my doubt fades. A small flash burns for a moment in my chest, one of pride at having praised him. Or, praised him? Pleased him. I owe you much, Noam, for the choices and sacrifice you made for us. You've been like a true father to me. A gentle patting of his footsteps behind me stops abruptly. Father? He huffs in the tone that sounds at once hurt and playfully defiant. I fashioned myself more as a noble guardian and protector, entrusting my sacred insights upon the little runt that life beckoned me to shelter. I mean, father, that's one thing, but you could call me daddy if you want. Moon's embrace. I'm too young to be a father. Though they call him old man, and I bet they'll be like, oh yeah, he's 29 years old. And they'll be like, Anom, you're what? 120 some sons? You mean summers? Though 120? Whew. As I said, much too young. I still have my youthful vigor. I'm spry and a yearling. Maybe you should have left me at the closest encampment, after all. Bluppy. A gnome comes up alongside me in a jog. I draw to a halt and let the oaf pass, expecting him to run ahead. Suddenly, an outstretched arm wraps around my waist and lifts me off the ground. We spin as he slows to a walk, only release me when I start to slip towards his palm. His laughter bellows off the cliffside wall and echoes throughout the canyon. Call me father again, and I'll make sure to toss you. I feel like we're getting close to the thing. I'm truly grateful. Okay, that's a good time to call it. I'm not sure how long this is, but we're at the 50-something minute mark. And sorry that my ability to read is absolute garbage. But, yeah, I just wanted to do another one. No, we're not doing that one as a quick look, I don't think. Well, I don't know. We'll see. So, now, I'll have to think about it. No, not calculator. God, my brain is in 12 different places at once. So, that's going to be the end of this furry visual novel quick look. Hyena. So, comment, cuz I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and share the videos. Do help it grow, and please remember the main animals to help control the pet population. And if you want me to play this game, it is a let's play. I'm not sure how long it is. It might not be long because it's a demo. Then tell me. Then I'll give it a point which is higher on the list. Sorry, I pressed the button in my mind. Let's start again. If you want to play this game, free on itch.io, but is on Patreon for $5 a month for early access. If you want me to do this as a let's play, then tell me and I'll give it a point which put up higher on the list of, stuff to do let's plays of. And if you have any other quick look suggestions, then please tell me. So I'll add it to the thing. Sorry, today's election day, and that could be a reason why, but before that, I've just been hella tired, so it's just like, So, yeah. Sorry about that. I just want to do one of these a day, but maybe I shouldn't. But we're going to quit this, and Next week's thing is going to be number 1, which is Bang Bang, which has no music. So the synopsis of this game is Hongji Xiaowu? No, that isn't actually a nice thing to say. Well, I know what it says, but you know, is there a way that I can translate this into English? Someone suggested this to me, but it's loading English. Cool. At least we got that part of the way. But can we read the synopsis? Translate. Oh, the one time I get it, right? It's all of a sudden English to Spanish. No, we went Chinese. Simplified, apparently. Bang Bang is an NSFW furry gay story in which you play as the son of a gangster? Yeah, I guess Bang Bang. Though you don't want to get involved with your family business, and the appearance of a gangster changes everything. It's a text adventure of gay love elements, protagonist. Although you do not want to get involved in your family's business, one day. Oh, it just says the same thing. Okay. So you can get this game for free on itch.io. They have a Patreon, which is early access is $8 a month. Again, I'd like to humbly apologize for my lack of ability to read. I'm pooped, but it's just kind of a pain where you want to play these games. Like, I want to play these games. I want to see a new adventure, and then also you're like, I'm hella dyslexic right now. And until next time, is there anything else I can say? I don't think so. Until next time, another quick look by me, GamerWolfSix, of some other furry visual novel, that being Bang Bang. So thanks and see ya.